Hello there. Today is going to be another old and new review, but it's also going to be a weird Mario video. So it's kind of a grouping of both. So let's get started. I think I'm going to do the new first, and then we'll go back to the old, and then look at the differences, comparisons, whatnot. So let me grab all that stuff. So I have the first set of these. These are from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and it's just a stationery set from 2009. And there's a little notepad. Okay, and then there's some erasers in a little jar, and they're coins. And we have the real meat of the set is the stamps. There's a penguin and a mushroom, and they come in like coin blocks and pipes. And the other set is a star and a propeller mushroom and a block and a yellow pipe. And then these are little pens. And I'm not sure, yeah, you can maybe see that. There's a pen in there. And you click it. There's a red one as well. And each thing has the New Super Mario Bros. Wii logo on it. And then there's two little tape dispensers with character tape. You can kind of see that there's some characters on there, and there's another one that has items on it. And you can use those to seal the little envelopes and things. So very geared toward Japanese like these sort of little stationery sets to make little letters and things. So let's look at the older version of this. Much cooler, I promise. Okay, here's the box for it. Okay, and it has Mario and Yoshi and the Super Mario Bros. 4 Super Mario World logo. And you can see the stamps that it makes. There's a Peach and a Yoshi and a Bowser and a Mario. And the bottom has just a little bit more info. And it even comes with a little handle for you. So I know you guys saw figures in there. So let's look at those first, because those are really the cool part. And these are really, really rare figures. It's very rare to see these. If you do see them, most of the time they're not going to be with the stationery set, actually. They're just going to be sold as little figures. So here's a Mario figure that is a little stamp. You can see the stamp he makes. And the reason you won't see him with his stamp very often is this. Just pops right off. So you can actually just have the collectible figures apart from the set. They don't have to be with their stamps. So that's the Mario doing his classic peace sign, and I don't know if you can see it on the video or not, but he has a little Nintendo on there. And it turns out I had a couple of these figures already, and then when I found the whole set, then I knew what they were from. And here's Yoshi. Very nice little sculpt of Yoshi, and he has his art stamp on the bottom. And he says Nintendo right here on his shoe, or his boot. Now the other two figures have some, I guess, relevance, or are a little bit more interesting because of other figures from other sets. This is Peach, a very, very rare Peach figure. And there is a Peach stamp there. And boy, does that it looks awfully familiar to, say, this figure from the Super Mario World set from Bandai. Now, I'm not entirely sure that Bandai made this set, because there's nothing on the box. All the figures are just marked Nintendo. And normally, excuse me, normally all Banpresto figures are marked with a B, like this one. See, it has the kanji for Nintendo, or the Japanese characters for Nintendo, and then 1993 China. And you can see the little B dot. That's Bandai's moniker from back then. And you don't see that on Peach. Excuse me. You don't see that on this Peach. But look how close they are. I mean, down to the paint and the sculpt. I mean, it's just a smaller version of this one with a few minor changes. Her hair peaks less. But other than that, there's really very few differences. It's just mostly in the hair. So, the last figure in the set also has this sort of interesting thing going on, and it's Bowser. So there's the Bowser figure. And you guys might recognize this from a recent video, provided I've uploaded these correctly. So there's his stamp. And he looks awfully familiar. It's the Tower game Bowser that I had done a video of earlier. And it's just a smaller version. It's the same sort of pose, it's the same sort of sculpt. His eyes are going in a different direction. But most everything else, aside from a little bit of paint detail, the smaller figure has more detail, interestingly enough. Pretty much the same figure. Now, why would this be? It could be because of official art. Two sculptors had the same, have envisioned the same sort of figure, or they just outright copied them or whatever. If this is straight from Nintendo, since it's an official item, I guess it doesn't really matter, but it is interesting that they look so similar. So that is the stationery set. Oh, let's look what else is in there. Just about forgot. We got some stickers. See, and that's where that Bowser pose is coming from. So it does look a lot like that tower figure, but it could just be the artist's interpretation. And then, you know, Peach has her arms folded. I don't know, that one's a little too coincidental for me. And then Mario and Yoshi, and you have a little Barry and a Mario. And then what's cool is you have these little scenes. And I don't know, presumably some tips or something on the back. And this all comes together into possibly a board game or some sort of game to play. Oh, and this is a little guide for a papercraft Mario pipe. Isn't that neat? So you'd color it whatever color, probably green, cut it out, and then follow the little directions, and there you go. And then we have this little book, and this is where, of course, I opened it the wrong direction. Hello, it's Japanese. Here's the back. It has Peach on it. Well, it's the back, whatever. And there you go. There's your little memo book. So you can rip these pages out and then send little memos. Presumably you could get some envelopes, and then you can stamp them up and do all these little things, right? So, there. That is the full stationery set. I did it again. Here's your ink. Your stamp cases. Those are kind of neat. And those are sealed with a little bit of tape, but it opens right up. Let's take a look at the opening just one of these to see if there's anything special. No, it's just your little bit of red ink, and looks like it's still intact, but man, is that cheap. It's like a little foam sponge thing, and yeah, I wasn't looking for super high quality here, but it is interesting to find one that still has some of this stuff intact for us to look at. So there, I think that really is the whole stationery set, until I forget something else. So, old and new review, there you go. For a general conclusion to the review, I suppose that the older one beats the newer one, simply because of the figures, but also the casing and whatnot. It's kind of a bummer that the new set didn't get treatment like this, but possibly stationery sets have gotten less coveted or cheaper in Japan. It's just something someone would pick up to maybe do some thank you letters or something. I'm not really sure. But the new set it has some nice incorporation of the figures and the characters and whatnot in the merchandise. But yeah, the old set definitely beats the new set, doesn't it? All right, thanks for watching.